Okay, guys, so I'm back up at the race course. What is it? Just 4 days after doing, or really messing up my 18k run in prep for Cheltenham's half marathon. I went out too quick in the first half. I blame the course. There's loads of downhill and flat, lovely flats over the first 10k, and I just got a bit carried away. Basically, I ran at a speed that I probably should be running at for a 10k run, not an 18k run. So what I'm doing today, I have just looked back at my average speed for my last 16k run. I'm about to do a 16k run. That speed was 12.6. Similar sort of elevation profile. It was down on the coast, but there was a bit of hill. Um, and I'm just going to pace it better. I'm going to target 12.7 instead, so 12.7 kilometers an hour, so one faster than what I did 2 weeks ago. And I'm doing that because well, it's been 2 weeks, and I think I am fitter than I was back then. And yeah, I'm going to do a good warm up, and I'm pretty sure it'll go well, as long as I do look after that speed. The other mistake I made on Tuesday was, for the 18k run, was eating too much too late, and that probably caused a bit of stitch, or increased the chance of stitch, on top of the bad pacing that I displayed. I have actually not done too well today on that side either. I've eaten about half a plate of curry and rice about 45 minutes ago. Plan was not to run now. I'll be upfront with you, but this is life, isn't it? I could have had made it perfect and said I'm going to do it on Sunday morning at 9 a.m., same time as the Cheltenham half, and I'm going to have my perfect race breakfast beforehand, an hour and a half, 2 hours beforehand. But such is life, right? I've got a family and things to do. So here I am. I'm going to take it on. Let's see how it goes. Well, that was better. Just got back and showered up after the 16k run, and yeah, much better result than the Tuesday 18k attempt, where I bombed out big time and had to drop the speed drastically due to some really bad pacing in the first 10 kilometers of the run. So let's dive into the stats on Garmin and see how it went. You can see I've done 16.17k. I was enjoying it so much at the end that I actually kept going. We'll bring up the map first, shall we, just to run through it. So keeping in mind that blue is slower and green is faster. Started up at the race course here, and you can see that the pace, well, it's blue. We'll look at the split times a bit later to see exactly how fast I was going through these different sections, but as it was a 16k route, you see here, I up Montpellier, turned left, went around Dean Close, and back along, I think it's Suffolk Road or Suffolk Parade or something. I didn't go up around Dean Close. I came back down Lansdowne Road, and then down Montpellier. I got I think I got the part of the course that comes onto the Honeybourne right this time, passing by Waitrose, onto the Honeybourne line, and back up around Prince of Wales. You can see that most of it, in terms of the colouring, it's mostly a light blue, isn't it? There's some green sections here along Thurston Road, Suffolk Road, but it's very much green and blue. There's, in terms of fast sections, it's actually very much blue. So it'll be interesting to see what the lap times look like, the splits look like. But yeah, you can see I got up to the race course at the end in much better shape. I mean, just didn't have any problem going up Albert Road this time, or Evesham Road. So the lungs were well intact the whole time. That curry that I had about half an hour before the run, it might have been a bit longer than that given I did a bit of warm up first, but that came back at me about 3 or 4 times, just disgusting burps, if I'm honest. So won't be doing that again. It was good the whole way around, and it was good. What I mean is, it was good to have experienced that, because it kind of reminded me, or consolidated to me that you can't eat that sort of food before or any run really, or any exercise. And it didn't, by after about 6k, I think the effects of it were about gone. The stomach felt great for the last 10 kilometers. There was no issues there, but it was just the bouncing up and down. It wasn't even necessarily the high intensity. It was just juggling around in my stomach. And it kind of made me slow down, I think, which you could say was a good thing, because it stopped me from going, but it contributed to me not going too fast. In fact, I said at the start I was going to go for 12.7 as the average speed. Well, actually, there's quite a stretch around the centre of town where it was around 12.4. That was the average speed. So I had to obviously run a fair bit faster later on in the run to catch up, to bring the average speed back up to 12.7. With that in mind, let's go and have a look at the splits, shall we? So not much to look at with regards to elevation. The pace, it looks really choppy, but I think when you see the splits, you'll see that it's not choppy at all. The heart rate just gradually climbs the whole way through, peaking at the end. What's that? 175. There's a little peak there at 180. What's that? Around the 106, 1 hour 6 minutes mark. And that's probably as I was coming up the last stretch of Albert Road. Run cadence, all looking pretty green, which is nice to see. Let's switch this over to speed instead of pace. We can see that on average 12.8 kilometers an hour as opposed to the 12.7. Can't complain with that. And that was really as a result of the strong finish. So let's have a look at those laps. So just keep in mind that we don't have kilometers per hour, so it's a bit hard, but if we can see that the average pace of the run was 4:42. So it does help us to compare, how were each of these lap times, each of these kilometer times. So you can see that the last couple down at 4:31, 4:33 was, as I said, I did really pick up the speed at the end, which showed that I had quite a bit left in the tank, which was great. Whereas in the you can see the first, second, third, fourth, fifth lap, sixth. So those first 6 kilometers were all, well, at least 5 seconds, if not, and up to 12 seconds slower than the average pace of the run. So probably quite a big negative split on this run, which is always my preference over a big positive split, which is what I did on Tuesday for the 18k run. And it's a bit mixed, really. I'm surprised to see so much fluctuation on the watch. It looked to me as though it started up around 12.6 in the first couple of k, and then dropped to around 12.4 at the lowest, and then just steadily or slowly climbed up to 12.5, 12.6, 12.7, and I didn't actually see it go to 12.8, but that probably happened in the last couple of kilometers. So pacing much better, much more enjoyable run. I mentioned on Tuesday that I had quite a sharp pain start in the kind of buttock, top of the hamstring area on the right leg, and that also came around to the front on Tuesday and at the end of the 18k. Today it didn't get anywhere, it wasn't never a sharp pain, but there's definitely something funny going on there. So I'm going to be doing some massage ball work in around I think they call it the greater trochanter, basically my sitting bone on the right hand side, the bone that I'm sitting on right now. I'll do some massage work and probably a bit of glute activation work and a bit of strength to try and sort that out, because I'd hate to think that it's going to get worse when I push that back up to 18k and then eventually to 21k. I'd hate to think that pain's going to get worse, or maybe start getting painful on my shorter runs, shorter high intensity runs as well. So I've got to be proactive with sorting that out. not much else to see here, really. But yeah, that's the run. Pretty happy. Obviously won't have the curry before the next one, and looking forward to it. So I hope you can appreciate. Got the pacing right today, or much better, much more conservative than Tuesday. Much happier with the result, and really confident about what I'm going to be able to do on the 18k. I think that for the 18k run, I'm going to try and average around 12.7, 12.8, so similar to what I've done today, and just try and hold that right from the start. I know it's an extra 2 kilometers, and it's quite a big jump from, I think it was 12.4 I averaged when I bombed out of the run on Tuesday. But if I can, not have a curry before the run, and and pace it, consistently throughout, that I'm really confident that I should be able to at least hit 12.7 for the 18k run next weekend. But we shall see. Stay tuned, and you can find out how it goes.